So one of the things that almost all authoritarian regimes have done, and this is regardless of their political ideology, like whether we're talking about communists or Nazis, all of them do it. They try to rewrite history. And they do this in various ways and on different angles, so that when everything is put together, it's very difficult for the common person to know what happened. And the communists in China during the Cultural Revolution, they did this by rewriting books, by changing history. They did this in Romania as well. The Nazis tried to rewrite the Bible. It was called positive Christianity. Jesus wasn't Jewish anymore. And they're trying to do this on various levels. Like, obviously, the most difficult to do, but what they strive to, is to rewrite the official stories. So, like, from an academic paper, you're not allowed to talk about certain things. But what's easier to do is to rewrite fiction. And fiction does influence people. Like, it doesn't influence people in the way of an academic paper does. But for instance, just so you know how powerful fiction is, I grew up with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Xena Warrior Princess, and I did tell this story on my live stream, but I'll say it here again if you don't know it. When I went to law school, again, I was a very introverted person. I was watching a lot of these American TV shows, and at law school, we had this teacher, which was a judge, and she was distraught that someone broke into her house. So she was worried that it has to be with a case that she was working on. But basically, someone went into her house, started turning the place upside down. And when she came home, she felt violated because someone got into her private property. So she was very afraid. And she tells us how she's scared because she's a woman and she doesn't have a husband to defend her. And I was like, well, why doesn't she learn karate, right? Because I watched Karate Kid. I saw like that movie where the protagonist is a woman and she learned karate. She could handle herself, right? I saw Xena, I saw Buffy, and she was bewildered. Like, the entire class started laughing. That they genuinely thought that I was mocking this woman, but no, it's due to the media that I grew up with, due to the fiction that I grew up with. Like, a woman is as strong as man. So why doesn't she learn karate? Why doesn't she go to the gym to be able to defend herself? And obviously, I had to rearrange my thinking, because that's what's happening when you live in fantasy land with movies. The moment you actually hit reality, you're immediately going to change your programming. But the point is, it's like, yeah, this is not what my parents taught me. Like, my parents taught me that a man shouldn't hit a woman because women are physically weaker, and it's not acceptable under any circumstance, right? Like, this is what mom and dad taught me. But the television taught me a different thing. The television was telling me, no, like, look at Xena. Like, Xena can take care of 4 or 5 men twice her size just fine. It's just that she knows how to fight. Like, she is an experienced warrior. So if a woman just goes to the gym and trains, then she will become experienced as well. And this is the power of fiction, right? Like if enough fictions that are different are sending the same message, you start to believe it. And in this case, the message is that woman's strong, and different films, like different productions, are sending the same message. So you assume that, well, they must have like a team of experts that are helping the writers create something that's believable, right? Well, turns out that's not true. Now, what Netflix is doing is they are pushing the woke message everywhere, right? So they will not be able to just release a movie that's based in reality and show the reality. Like, they are going to try to push their agenda everywhere, and people are starting to notice that. The problem is, it's like when you take one example, it makes you sound like a racist. Like, it makes you sound like you have something against the actor or you have something against that particular TV show. But the way that people are articulating it here is that it's just another one of these movies. Like it's to the point where it's not just another movie. It's just that this is the normal. Like if you were to have a movie right now which was historical accurate, it would shock people. Like it would be so different that people will actually start talking about it. It's like, wow, did you see that? Like, what is happening? It's actually historically accurate. They didn't change anything. They didn't race swap anything, and it's on Netflix. Like, that would be now bewildering. what was that company which made a historical video game, and they refused to race swap any of the characters in there, and they were accused, oh my god, like you don't have diversity, like how can you allow? I love this expression. It's like, how can you allow? It's like simple. You fucking allow it. How can you allow? Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, so I want to say that it's not always a bad thing to race swap something or to replace something. Like for instance, like in some cases it's acceptable. The best movie that I ever seen on Netflix regarding history has to be the one with Chernobyl, right? So Chernobyl, I would say it's a very faithful adaptation. Having lived under the Iron Curtain, I can say that it's very authentic. But the team of people that were against Chernobyl was actually a team of scientists. And in the TV show, they replaced the entire team of scientists with just one woman. And the reasoning behind it is that to have a team of scientists in a TV show would have been more costly. Because you have to hire like 20, maybe 30 actors to play those scientists. And it's also confusing for the viewer to just have like the scientists debate with each other rather than just have one person, right? So due to this, they chose a woman, and it's actually a good choice because in the Soviet Union, you did have like female scientists, like was the same like gender promotion and gender quota and shit. And a lot of these women were actually competent. Like when I went to med school, a lot of my university professors were women and they were very competent. So like it's fine, you know, when you do it like that, it makes sense. There is a reasoning behind it that I can understand. But when you race swap just for the sake of it, like there is no reasoning whatsoever, especially when you can add black characters that are there and it would make sense in the universe, right? Like if these are the two individuals, the two FBI agents, which apparently took down Purdue Pharma, right, during the opioid crisis, and you choose not to have them and you have this instead, it doesn't make sense. But you could have this as a friend of one of the two, and then it wouldn't cause any immersion breaking. Or you can have her as a colleague of them, or anything like that, right? Like the very fact that you're rewriting history and you're taking credit away from these people is why so many fans are upset. It's not because they're racist, it's because they're seeing what you're doing. If this was like just like one TV show on Netflix that happened to do this, people would be fine, you know, like whatever. It's weird, but okay. To us, it's the same like if you were to tell the story of Martin Luther King and you would replace Martin Luther King with a white girl. Like she's like 12, you know, and she does what Martin Luther King does. It's weird. Why are you doing this? It's like replacing Anne Frank with Will Smith. Right? Like why would you do this? Like it makes no sense. And the reality is no one likes this. Like even black people, I talk with them, and they're not too impressed by this. Like at best they're neutral. Like at best they're meh. Right? I don't know like anyone that goes out of their way to go to see a movie just because they race swap the character. But anyway, right, woke washing is the thing. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.